In this video, we will be teaching you how to train a novice to properly perform a jump shot in basketball. We will outline the skills, drills, and programs used. The skill can be classified as one-dimensional, affine skill, discrete, and closed. Two-dimensional classification of the skill would be 1B in Gentile's taxonomy, as a result of the environment being stationary, body being stable, object changing, and the skill is closed and there is no intertrial variability. The quantitative measure that we have used to assess skill acquisition is shots in as opposed to shots missed out of a total of 15 shots. The qualitative measure we have used is a rating scale out of 10 on the technique of the individual. The key aspects of the skill are balance, feet should be shoulder width apart, preparation, where the fingers should be spread evenly around the ball, starting motion, where the player starts the motion through the legs with eyes on the target, and the release, where the elbow must be behind the ball. Also the follow through, where the key teaching point is to put the hand in the cookie jar. A useful acronym to use to teach a novice these points is BEEF. B is for balance, E is for eyes on the target, E is for elbow under the ball, and F is for follow through. The testing design we have elected is to conduct a pre-programmed test which involves shooting from different angles and varied situations. This is used as our baseline figures and lets us see how much the player has improved at post-testing. Post-testing was a repeat of the pre-testing protocol in order to assess skill acquisition. The retention test was another repeat of the same protocols 1 week after the completion of the program with no practice in between. This will give us an idea of how much the player has retained and how autonomous they have become at the skill. The transfer testing is putting the skills into action in a small-sided game. This is also a test of autonomy and practicality, as we see how well they put the skill to use in real-life situations. Week 1 and 2 of the training program are focusing on the cognitive processes of learning the skill. We focused on improving the technique of the player through repetitive blocked practice and lots of visualization. The primary drill that was used in week 1 was the form shooting drill, which teaches correct shot technique through repetition. Visualization was also used in order for the player to solidify the physical practice they had carried out. In week 2, the primary drill used was the 10-spot shooting drill, in which we chose 10 spots that we deemed to be important and had the player repeatedly shoot from those positions. A variation of the 10-spot shooting drill was also used to increase the difficulty and avoid the player getting bored. This was called the catch and shoot drill, where the client stood in the marked spots and caught a pass and offloaded the shot as quickly and accurately as possible. In weeks 1 and 2, terminal feedback was used after every attempt in order to correct mistakes in technique. The verbal cues given to the player were reinforcing the BEEF acronym. Here I will show you the exercises that we have used throughout week 1 and 2. Weeks 3 and 4 focused on more random practice and the associative stage of learning. We focused on improving the technique of the player through a number of different situations instead of just focusing on the shot itself. In week 3, we introduced the X jump shot drill, which involved putting a chair on each elbow, the player making a hard cut through the middle of the chairs, gathering the ball and taking a jump shot. The other drill used was the 4-spot fast break shooting drill, in which the player starts at halfway and spins and bounces the ball to himself, gathers it after one bounce and offloads the shot. If they miss, they rebound and finish the basket. These drills introduced other variables to the program, making it random and more difficult. The feedback was cut right back in weeks 3 and 4, and it was changed to terminal feedback in order to prevent over-reliance on feedback and allow the player to get a feel for themselves. The verbal cues given to the player were to make hard cuts, stay low, and to step into the shot. Here I will show you the exercises that we used throughout week 3 and 4. In week 5, the training protocol was taken away from drills and cut down to 3 30-minute sessions, which consisted of one-on-ones and small-sided games that focused on putting the learned skill into action rather than actually learning the skill. The player was given no feedback, and the verbal cues were to maintain distance from the defender, look for the open shot, eyes on the target, and to avoid the distraction from the defender. And finally, some small-sided gameplay.